Very good morning to Taiwan and friends of AEN and of course Taiwan Ecotourism Association. How are you this morning? Are we thrilled? Yes, I am. Not only my name just turned out to be Takayama, means high mountain. Japanese last names are all named after natural elements, and it also gives us, the Japanese, the clue where we used to live. So I'm a mountain people probably, in my blood, yeah? So I feel good about this. And I'm very happy to be back in Alisan. I was here maybe 3 years ago in this very building. And I was here last year, although it was brief. I feel like Taiwan is like a brother to Japan. And we have a lot of things that we share in common, including biodiversity that we share. So the reason why here as an AEN is that we have been working a lot on the ground, mainly in Bangkok. That's where we are established. But this is our very first international ecotourism conference outside Thailand. So this is our very first AEN. So thank you so much for the host and TEA and all the participants who are here for day. And we look forward to communicating with you for years to come. Yes? And we like to share our thoughts, and we share the same challenges and opportunities. And I would like to share my presentation in next 20 minutes or so. And I'm not a technical person, although I'm a Japanese who's known for. Is this all right, this one? Okay, I don't want to talk about the definition, but just be on the same page. We want to see who we are now. I think everybody likes nature. Everybody likes life in the mountains or rivers or ocean, wherever that is. And we have not only the likes, but we also respect the environment and the people who live it. Because without the nature, we cannot be here. We need the air, we need the water, all these elements that we think is free, it's not really free. It's the blessing of the nature. For that reason, we are here. So the ecotourism is a responsible travel to natural areas, but not only that, we also have to conserve the environment, of course, it's a part of the deal. Socially, economically sustain the well-being of the local people, which includes the indigenous people, especially this time the theme. And creates knowledge and understanding through interpretation and education of all involved. So if you have a guest coming to this area, they like the nature, they walk, but if there's no interpretation on how nature is developed here, they'll have less chance to enjoy or respect the what you have here. So ecotourism is not only going to the natural areas. We need to have the guiding and the skills, all the things that would, be a part of ecotourism. Eventually, we respect the what you have here. So ecotourism is non-consumptive, and non-extractive form of tourism. You don't take mushrooms out because you're an ecotourist. You will respect maybe half the mushroom, so make sure that next year you get the mushroom. Right? That's how sustainable it should be. It creates an ecological conscience and also hold ecocentric values and ethics in relation to nature. And lastly, of course, good for both visitors and for the visited. So for communities, they need to be happy receiving the ecotourists, and ecotourists also will be happy being here. That's how it goes. So we see a lot of bad examples in Asia that hunting is not ecotourism. It's not. Yeah? Mass nature tourism, we don't consider that as an ecotourism. We say it's more just a nature-based tourism. And only staying at a sustainable hotel or eco-resorts is not ecotourism. It's maybe a part of the experience, but I think you want to have more holistic experience to be called as a part of ecotourism. So you're looking at us as AEN. AEN is an umbrella organization of bigger network called Global Ecotourism Network. We have not only in Asia, but we also have Latin American Ecotourism Network. We have European Ecotourism Network. We have Creating Africa Network. So there are eventually 6 sub-global networks in the world. However, AEN is the pioneer. We are the first, and we are the most successful networks in the area. So, as you see, we were under incubation in Thailand for the last 2 years. We are happy to have the Thailand government support. We are under the public administration called DASTA. They have a sustainable tourism destination development agency, sort of called, in Thailand, which is very unique for Asia. So we were having this enjoyment with the directors, that's a photo. And just at a glance, we work with a lot of companies, universities, government entities, NGOs, you can name it, and we want to expand more in sharing the benefits of what ecotourism can bring. And a lot of us are here already. AEN is a bit complex issue. When we established, we have 2-tier border system. Because AEN is registered in Thailand, we have a AEN Thailand board at the bottom, who is overseeing more administrative roles. And then we have the international board. We have maybe half of the people here on the floor from 17 different countries. So this is the current board structure, although we just had another election. So this is a new phase for the 2019 International Board. We are welcoming more experts from other areas that we didn't have the chance to, and we will be expanding beyond Asia. Of course, we have New Zealand, Zan on the floor, but we do have Australia together with us now. So ecotourism source market is Asia, but a lot of the countries are also dependent on Asian economy. So I think it is good that we will be on the same page in consolidating the efforts so we can make the small voices bigger. We want to mainstream the sustainable tourism. Nature-based sustainable tourism should be embracing the concept of ecotourism. That's why we are here. However, we have a lot of challenges, as you may know. We try to work with governments a lot of times, and but of course we need flawless communication with them. However, sometimes when we talk about the budget, it doesn't go as well for some people. It really depends on the person who we talk to, and when we talk nicely, the next year they get different positions. Unfortunately, then we lose track. So we've seen that all the time. But as long as we are united as a network, there are a lot of interesting governments who like to work with us, and I think our future is very bright. So, of course, having the funds is great, but sticking together as a network, and we would like to keep delivering the messages for the rest of Asia and beyond, so that they will know what we are trying to do and achieve. A very good part of AEN is we work very closely with GSTC. GSTC is a Global Sustainable Tourism Council. What they do is they are like the certifier of certifying bodies in terms of sustainable tourism. When we have these board members of AEN, because we are from different countries, we have different thinking about ecotourism. We have different definitions of ecotourism. So what we thought that will be good for internal education is that we would do the training for our board members so that we can be on the same page and we understand what sustainable tourism is about. And therefore we have MOU with GSTC and with other agreements with in training. We're working on the standards on ecotourism right now. And I think next day during the board meeting, we are talking about the ecotourism standards for accommodations. And a few months later, we try to work also on the destinations. So here from with the government, we like to talk more closely in the context of destinations, while if you're lodge owners, we'd be happy to work with you to test our standard if that's relevant to your places. So that's our first training in 2016. A lot of us are here. You do remember? You have not changed. Yes? Still young faces. 2018, we did that the second one. Yeah? In Bangkok. And the third one actually coming up, we are planning this May in Bangkok. So not only board members, but if you are interested, you're more than welcome to join us our training in Bangkok, which we'll announce for the end of May. So, continuation of the challenges that we have. I talked about the two-tier system of the board, although I think what we are now is that we need to be careful about what we are sending the message out of AEN, because smaller countries are really learning about the rest of the countries. For example, you have Johnny from Cambodia, who has been really working hard to catch up with the rest of Asia. Now you're learning a lot. And like Malaysia and Indonesia, these countries have been practicing ecotourism for years and years, 20 years or maybe more. Huh? So we have all this expertise across the board, but I think we need to be learning each other. And that gives us a good opportunity, again, in Taiwan, that after this board meeting, we have a few days of traveling together, which is a good bonding exercise, also to share and network where we are in terms of ecotourism. So there are a lot of challenges, but we have a lot of good opportunities. And this is the must that we need to talk about is economic leakage. Whenever you go on a travel, you just don't go on an eco tour, right? You have to take planes like other passengers. You have to take a boat or the bus like other passengers. And you may end up walking on the national park, which could be a part of ecotourism, but you cannot be ecotourist 100% of the time. But you can be more respectful to your choices. That will make a difference. For example, if I were to come to Taiwan, I would prefer to stay at the accommodations where the local people operate. So I know that I can have a local experience. I know that I can have local food. I know that the money stays in Taiwan rather than staying in the Western hotels. Maybe it could be French or American, you never know. But, so you just become a better traveler, right? And you should be able to also show what are available in your destinations to minimize the leakage, economic leakage. You want to maximize the retention of the traveler's financial contribution so that you can enjoy as much as you can. So that's a leakage. And as far as the statistic goes, there's an estimate for the third world countries that 80% leakage. So you pay 100%, but only 20% stay in local area. That's quite bad, huh? and the Caribbean 40% in India. So if you are a good operator, you can make a good package, so automatically money stays. Yeah? You prefer your national carrier, you stay in the local area, you eat local, which we'll be doing in the next coming days. So we are okay, yeah, but this is highly encouraged. Opportunities, we have a lot of opportunities. Not only us talking about ecotourism, but learning each other. There's a lot of cross-learning, and we identify a lot of good practices already happening in Asia. We can learn a lot from each other. And this time we are learning a lot from Taiwan. We're visiting your places. So we'll be talking, so we'll be the ambassadors of Taiwan for the coming years. And of course, we look forward to selecting another destination next year. So we have all this nice earth, but unfortunately there are a lot of negative influences which are human-induced. Yeah? And I think we need to be in a position where, I think in Ainu and other indigenous people that say the planet is something that we borrow from our next generations. So we are in the position, we have the responsibility that our planet stays beautiful for our next generations. And that's where we are. Yeah? So we are a part of tourism, although it doesn't come just from here. People who want to just make money, just think here. But ecotourism, it comes from here. It comes from the heart. And it's like a family, you know? So it doesn't take much thinking if you are thinking about your grandchildren, right? It's easy. You want to take care of what you have. It's so beautiful. So that's where we are. And to do that, we have a system within the AEN website that we are trying to identify who are the stakeholders in ecotourism. And if you have not been involved, this is a free, and we encourage the people to have this questionnaire answered. We have 9 languages translated into our questionnaire. Then we know we can count on as a part of the ecotourism stakeholders in Asia. And we do a lot of B2B marketing. Some of us are actually going to ITB building in March. We are there every year. We are voicing what we are doing in Asia, but on a very, very global level. It's a part of it. We work with WTTC, National Geographic, Wild Asia. There's a lot of opportunity for us to go and talk about what we're doing in Asia. And this is a new initiative for some of the board members who doesn't know about this, is that we have been working on the portal site. Now, this is, we still are on the testing mode, but AsianEcoTravel.com has been in concept for the last 2 years, and now it's working. So what we want to do is we want to identify the real good tour operators to put their products Asia-wide or beyond, and that we can actually sell these products through our website. It's a part of the income generation for AEN, but we need to be careful that we don't want to be a source of greenwashing. Yeah? It's not that we want to open door for everybody who thinks that they're doing ecotourism, but we want to be careful to police around these people that we make sure that we only sell authentic ecotourism. And this portal site, it's not about quantity, but it's about the quality of the product. And the product will make changes to the places that you're visiting. That's the aim. So it's coming up. So we have a system like this. We don't have the time to do this, but you can also buy the regular hotels as a part of the deal. But this is coming from the Thailand travel co-op, right? As a part of the partnership. And we also have two media groups from Thailand who are on the AEN Thailand board. I think it's very important for media people to understand what ecotourism is about. Because a lot of times they're missing the exact message that we are trying to deliver. So if you can do, if you know a lot of the media who you work regularly, encourage them to be part of AEN or to be part of the training so they would know what is really good. It's newsworthy, among others. We also have a newsletter. It's a complex system, but we have a periodic newsletter. We gather from all over Asia and go through New Zealand for English proof reading, then go to Mongolia for final publish. So it's the beauty of our network, but that's what we have. Yeah, and we have a lot of events. I don't have the time, but we've been doing a lot of annual meetings. We go to many places. Our board members are moving around the world and talking about ecotourism. We were here, some of us here in Taiwan. This is a picture. Yeah, last year. We were with also Dr. Mina Gabo in the Philippines as a part of our AEN Jan. We also work closely with ASEAN because we were trying to work with the standards. Bird Fair, you see, just had one. We work with UNWTO. We work with, a lot of things. There's so many things that we already do on the ground in the region, and that needs to be get attention. We have the new board member joining. So this goes on. We also work with the universities. So this is there. But the idea is that we work a lot. We were in Korea. We do a lot of training together with international organizations, such as Green Destination we did in Korea. So a lot of the board members are actually being trained by the international organization to be ready for transforming our education material to the ground. So this year, 2019, we're going to the Berlin. Then we have our AGM in Bangkok, and we'll be working on the destinations. And tomorrow, the board members will talk about this all day. Yeah. So again, this is the Thailand version, but I'm hoping that we will make a lot of media coverage in Taiwan to be, talking about AEN for days to come. And please join here on Facebook. We always have a good network with the Facebook. We also have an email subscription if you go to our website. So I highly encourage you that you stay with us. And this is not only one time that we come to Taiwan. We will be coming back to you. And we want to enjoy Taiwan as a part of big family. And thank you so much for the opportunity. And we look forward to talking to you for days to come. Thank you very much.